I need to stop doing that. God damn it. How long have I been talking? I'm tempted to just restart the stream. That hurts. That hurts so much. You know what? No, we're not restarting the stream. Anyway, I've been muted. I'll edit the VOD later, but man, that hurts. 15 minutes being muted. I did this to myself. I have OBS right here in front of me. Didn't bother looking at the volume settings. Anyway, welcome to the April Fool's stream. I guess the joke's on me. Okay, so for this April Fool's stream, the title is a lie. Ocean War is not hitting 1.0, not today or tomorrow. So instead, this dev stream will be dedicated to a mini project where we just throw together a game in 2 days to our streams. There's a dungeon generation system that I kind of just came up with this afternoon after forgetting how the other one I researched before worked. And after doing some testing, it worked. So I thought, hey, let's do it for a stream. Let's make an April Fool's project. And then when we're done, we'll upload it to itch and then share it. But yeah, can't believe I did this to myself. I'm so mad. I wasted so much time. Anyway, we're setting up the basic stuff to get a basic character going and whatnot. So actually, let's replace this sphere with the plane so we can make sure the player character works properly. Got a cube. Get a player start. Oops. There we go. Okay, couple things we still need to do. Input action mappings. We'll call it shoot. And we'll call this reload. And that's all we'll set up for right now. Anyway, the other thing we still need to do is set up a game mode. So let's do that. Dungeon mode. Okay, now we can change the game mode. Change the pawn. Is there anything else we need to change? Oh yeah, we need to change the controller. Cool. So let's get the input action, or actually input axis. Look right. And then I think it's just add is it look? Rotation? I genuinely forgot how to axis. There's a way to have it be an input for camera controls. Oh, here we go. Axis values, look right. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, that... I remember doing this at least once before. I just can't remember how to do it now. Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm trying to do this without, like, looking up the original stuff. I know how to do movement. Maybe we can do that instead. Input, axis, move, forward. And then just add movement input. Yep, that's just that simple. Get forward vector. Oh no. Oh, you can't be serious. self get forward vector, the capsule component. And then we can test this. No, we can't because I can't see anything. Here's what we'll do. We'll put a block here for forward. That'll be our point of reference. And forward works. Now does backwards work? It does. Cool. So we at least know that's working. So project settings, we need to add one more thing. We need to add input access, move right. So we need to get keyboard. Of course, that's not how you search. I always forget that that's just how Unreal is. So WASD, D is right, and then A is left. And now if we add this, input access move right, and then basically the same logic here, this should work. Oops, right is forward. Okay. Add movement input. Okay, world direction. Is there a get right vector? Aha! Plug that in. Ta-da! And then if we try go left, oh. Is it because left is currently set as +1? It is because left is currently set as +1. Okay, change that value, try again. Ta-da! Cool. That's movement. Now we gotta figure out this looking situation. Add. Not gonna be struct related. Not casting related, not utilities related. I don't think it's going to be add actor rotation, but I'm kind of worried that might be what it is. I just want to double check everything before I say yes, because everything else in this project I kind of know how to do, but we'll see. Ah, there we go. Add controller role. Oh my god, yep. It's these things right here. Now the real question is which one is which. That's the real question. Yeah. Affecting yaw. Thank you, Unreal Engine. Here's what we'll do. Add controller role, and then add controller pitch. We'll try all three of these, and then we'll figure out which one is right for us. Let's try roll first. I think roll is going to be wrong, but... Oh yeah, that's very wrong. Okay, let's try yaw. Oh my god, that's it. Okay, so roll is definitely not it, but pitch might be. Input axis look up. So if we hook this up, the helicopter passing by. Probably the closest I've heard a helicopter fly around these parts. Oh, I got the values reversed. I got inverted controls. Oh no. Here, look up, mouse Y, -1. That should be all we need to do to fix that. Up, down, left, right. D, A, W, S, boom. We got movement, we got looks. This is the bare minimum now. Isn't that impressive? Okay. We'll call it aiming. Cool. Now let's add the actual weapons. So we need a static mesh. Actually, no, we want a child actor. Let's get a child actor in here. We'll call it weapon. Now we need to start actually making the other stuff that makes this dungeon generation stuff fun. So let's start with the weapon itself. It just needs to be an actor. We'll call it gun. And then all it needs is a static mesh, I believe. I actually haven't double checked what the weapon model is. Oh, and because I said it when I was muted, all these weapons are done by the very talented Quaternius on Pizza Poly. So if you're an indie dev who just needs some quick models to do either prototyping or full projects, check out his stuff on Pizza Poly. He is incredible. He's also got some premium stuff on his personal website linked at his Pizza Poly, so definitely check that out as well. Okay, weapon. Let's set that as gun. Okay, that is massive. We need to tone you down quite a bit. Set the gun to 0.25 scale. And then let's lock that in case we need to change that later. That looks more manageable. Okay, so now if we go here and here and here, what does that look like? Oh my god, that's actually like almost perfect. Very nice. Okay, so now let's do this. Is that a camera? Attach the weapon to it. And then move the camera up. And then move the weapon down. What does that look like? Oh, I can't move the camera up and down because you need to turn on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I must be blind. What is this? I don't know what that is. Okay. Component tick, post process. Am I crazy? Where's the... There should be like camera inherits pitch and yaw options, right? Am I crazy? Depth of field, ambient, ray tracing. No, what? Oh, I'm so confused now. Unreal 5, what are you doing to me? Use pawn control rotation? I doubt that's the solution. Oh, it is the solution. Okay, well, I feel silly now. But at least the gun's with us now. Does look a little massive, so what if we bring it out a bit, maybe? There we go. That looks a little more appropriate. Cool, now we just need to give this gun some functionality. So first off, we need to add a custom event in here. Custom event. We'll call it shoot or fire. Yeah, fire. We'll call it fire. And we're going to do this through capsule traces. So line trace by channel. Get player character. Ooh, actually, can we add an input? Oh, we can. Player camera. And then this actually needs to be set to a vector. And then we'll multiply this by a float. Let's do 500 units. Oh, 500 units, and then plus the original player camera location to make the hit destination. Then for duration. And then we can test this by just going into the player character, input action shoot, get weapon, get child actor, cast to gun, shoot. Oh, nope, it's called fire. Fire. And then get player camera. Nope. Get camera. And then get world location. Cool. And now if we test this, nothing works. Did I set the debug type visibility? Okay. Everything looks correct. Here's what we'll do. Break the hit result. Print string. First, we want to check, are you hitting anything? I don't think it's shooting. That's not good. Why is it not shooting? Cast a gun, fire. Input action shoot. Oh, did we not set what input action shoot key is supposed to be? Is that maybe what the issue is? Am I that slow? Man. I bet you I didn't. Yep. Didn't even set up the keyboard input for reload. I am so ahead of my time. You know it. Okay, so the raycast is apparently too short to hit what's in front of us. What's the coordinates on that? Where are the cubes? Oh. Okay, so it's about 400 units away. It says it's not hitting anything though. That's interesting. What if we extend that range? What if we say 1000? Oh, you know what? I know what the issue is. We're doing 1000 units away from the player, but not in a specific direction. So we need to add another vector here. We'll call it forward vector. That's what needs to be multiplied. So camera, get world location, and then get, no? Is it this one? Get forward, I saw it, there it is. Get forward vector. Okay, that should make it work. Hey! Cool. Now what we're gonna do is just add a little muzzle flash, and by muzzle flash, I mean I'm gonna cheat and use a point light at the muzzle. So just need to bring this out over here. Set the color to yellow by just dropping the blue value. And then what we're gonna do is drop both of these. And then grab this. Set visibility. Delay. 0.2 seconds should be enough. And then plug it right back in. And then by default, we'll set this to be invisible. Let's test this. Ta-da! You can barely see it, but yep, muzzle. Okay, now that we got some basics established, we still got to do some other stuff, but we'll come back to it all. Let's get the dungeon generation started. So we're going to do this through the level blueprint, but there's one more thing we got to do before we do that. So we'll call this dungeon tiles. We're going to need to make a blueprint. It's going to be an actor. And we're going to call this dungeon. Oops, that's its dungeon. Dungeon tile parent. Yeah, we'll call it parent. Cool. So all we need to do here is assemble a little mini dungeon room. That's all we really need to do to start. So we're gonna need some static meshes. Let's just do this one thing at a time. Let's start with the floor. So we need the floor modular. Once again, thanks to Quaternius for providing these models for free. And we're gonna make these dungeons kind of big. So we're gonna start by, oh, come on. Duplicate floor 1. And then I'm going to make a guess here, plus 100, 200. 200 it is, I think. Yeah, 200 seems to be the magic number of today. Okay, yeah, we're gonna make this 3x3 rooms. That's what we're gonna do. So minus 200. Minus 200. Plus, oops, 200. Did I paste? 1, 2, 3, 4. I did not paste. 200. Minus 200. And minus 200. So there is our room. Can we combine these now? That's the next question. Nope. That's unfortunate. Not a big deal though. Let's add another static mesh here. We'll call this wall. Make it free of that. Attach. Wall modular. There we go. And then I'm gonna make a guess here, plus 100. Aha! Okay. Now we just need to drag this back. Let's set the walls to be like just barely outside these models if we can. Something like that should be fine. Yeah, I don't think there's the risk of the player falling through the world on that. So now we just got to do this for the whole room. So plus 200. Minus 200. And then what we can probably do is... Aha, yes we can. Drag that to the other side. Once again, just barely on the edge. Copy paste. E to rotate. Oh shoot, that's not what I wanted. Man, I was hoping I could just... Whatever, man. Real quick, is it still copied? Okay, cool. We'll just do this. Rotate it 90 degrees. Bring it on back. Then just line that up like that. Now, for these dungeon rooms that we're going to be creating, we want to make sure all walls are solid. And that's because if my idea works, emphasis on if it works, we should be able to replace a wall with a like I have an archway model, which would be the door, essentially. Am I crazy? Like, why is this not... Okay, so the corners are going to be a little bit exposed. We can come up with something for that later. For now, though, let's just focus on creating these dungeon rooms. Okay, cool. So let's mark these middle walls something unique. We'll call it wall door. This will be wall door 2. Wall door 3. and wall door 4. Cool. So first we want to make sure that the dungeon generation system will work as intended. So let's go into the level blueprint. Then on event begin play, we're gonna do spawn actor from class. The class will be dungeon tile parent. And then just to make sure this works, we're gonna set that. So as you can see, we have a dungeon room now. Pretty neat, right? But we want multiple rooms. So what we're gonna do is then after it does that, custom event, generate dungeon. And what we're gonna do is actually recombine this struct and promote it to a variable. Yeah, we'll leave it as spawn transform. It's not a big deal what it's called, right? The second. And then we're going to do a for loop with break. No, that's not what we want. I think it's just a regular for loop. For loop? We need an array. Okay. Let's call this dungeon tile count. Set this to an integer, make it an array. Look this up real quick. We're gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms here. 3. Okay, so when looping the body, we want to get the spawn transform, split the struct, set it, split the struct, and then, am I crazy? I feel like there's another like for loop that we could be using that doesn't require an array, but maybe I'm overthinking it. Also, you know what we could do instead? Real quick. We can make it an array of locations just by going 0, 0, 0. And then if we copy and paste, we can get an idea of how many units of space this needs. So if it was 200 for each tile, let's assume, let's just lowball it, 600 units. Ooh, did I? Wow. Wait. 700. 650. 650 is pretty close. 650 is pretty close. Maybe 660. I guess the issue with 660 is that the floors don't touch. Can I get the directional light to pan a little bit? That'd be kind of nice. There we go. Now we can see the floor connections a little bit better. Or actually, we can do it even better because we can just, yeah, there we go. Okay, anyway, 600. So 600 seems to make the floors work better. Issue now is just that the walls are kind of into each other. Yeah, that looks like that's the only issue. They're overlapping like inside each other. Like this wall is for this room and this wall is for this room. So it might actually be worth tightening up the walls. Okay, so if I tighten up the walls to be on the floor, what does that look like? 280-ish, negative 280. Now I just gotta do that for these two. And then these ones are probably positive 280. Oops, 280. Yeah, that looks about right. Now they're kind of in the floor, but we can deal with that in a minute. 280. 280. And I'm assuming these ones will be 280 in the yellow. So just do this. Do negative 280. And then take these up. Do positive 280. Yeah, there we go. The corner walls are kind of into each other, but I don't think the player can really see that. Not really. Like kinda, but not really. Okay, so what does that look like now? Ooh, that looks like perfect, actually. Beautiful. Okay, so we now know that the dungeon rooms need to be 600 units of each other. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, you know what we need? We need a struct. A struct? No, we need an enumeration. And we'll call it dungeon direction enum. And then we just need 4 of these. We're just gonna call it north, south, east, and west. When I was originally testing this, I used a Boolean, and looking back on that, that was a weird decision when I can just switch on dungeon direction enum. But, you know, we don't make the best decisions when we're scrambling to come up with content, right? So for the location, we'll just do a plus. And then just to make sure. That was 600 on red. Oops. We'll do plus 600 here. Plug everything else to be the same. So the dungeon will be linear, but at least it'll have some randomization to it so the player is not walking in a literal straight line. Ooh, can we do a sequence after within a loop body? That'd be an interesting thing to test. Here we'll switch it to negative 600. So that will be south. And then we can just copy both of these, paste them down here, plug this into east and west. These directions are not, they don't need to be correct, they just need to be understandable. Here, we'll try a sequence just to see if that works. And then from there, spawn actor from class, get the spawn transform, dungeon parent, yeah, so this should generate 5 rooms, if I'm correct. Big if, but you know, we gamble-ish. So let's hit play and see what happens. Oh, I can't jump. Maybe should have thought of that. Here, let's do something here. Event begin play. Line trace by channel. Self. Get world location. Get for, okay. Get forward vector times 100. This will be our check north thing. And then break hit results is actor equal to dungeon tile parent. Get that into a branch. And then real quick, that's negative. So we need wall door. Okay. Wall door. Set static mesh. Arch. And then if false, do nothing. So now this is good for just checking one wall, but we have 4 walls we need to check. So what we're going to do is just drag this up, add a custom event. We'll call it check north. Actually, we'll just say, you know what? We don't even need to do any of this. I don't know why I'm doing this so weird. We just need a sequence. Sequence. There we go. So the first one, we'll check north. And then all we really need to do is just copy this and do this for each wall and direction. Let's check north. This will be check south. Let's actually, I'm gonna forget if I don't label these. Check north. There we go. Drag this down a little bit. Check south. We can just copy all this, paste this down here. So we adjusted the formula, negative 600, positive 600. So we need to change that wall. This is south, so that's wall door 4. So change wall door 4 to the arch. And then east. East is positive 600. Yeah, so this is east, wall door 2. Let's replace that before I forget. $600. Whoa. Why did it do that? That was weird. Okay. East. Check east. And then finally, paste it one more time. This will be check west. Nope, I didn't add a... There we go. And then just change that from 0 to negative 600. Okay, so if we test this, it will not work. What if I just change this to blocking hit true? I don't think that's going to be the solution, but, you know, we can try it. Oh, that worked. Kind of. Not really, but I wonder if it's not hitting itself, I don't think, because the doors wouldn't be this weird. Okay, so the archways have to have no collision, I think. So just as an additional thing, set collision enabled to no collision. Yeah, that'll work. Do the same thing for all of these. We'll fix the placement of the arches in just a moment. I just want to get this dungeon generation thing working first. What is going on? I don't know what was going on. That was weird. Oh, this block's in the way. We can finally get rid of our test block. At least this dungeon generation seems to be working. The only downside being is these collisions are whack. I don't know what's going on with them. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes when I move, I'm hitting something. It's not letting me move that direction. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. It's generating doors correctly for this way, but it seems like it's only going in a linear fashion. I wonder... Oh, you know why? We didn't randomize this. It's always going to be north. We need to get a select node. Random integer in range. Here, let's scoot all this back. 1, 2. North, south, east, and west. And then the index will be from 0 to 3. So now if we try this... Why is it being so weird? Is it just this cube? Like, why is my movement so whack? Oh, and movement's being weird. Okay, so here's our next issue. The arch generated correctly for one room, but not this room. And this room has open walls to nowhere. So maybe this is just gonna be a guess. If we delete this cube and set the player to spawn above the dungeon. Okay, so the cube might have been messing with our movement a bit, but the generation is still not quite doing what it needs to. So let's go back into here. Let's plug back in that condition. See what that does. Not seeing anything now. So clearly this is not working as intended. When it's blocking, it does, but not the other way around. So I wonder if it would be better. I'm currently using the default scene root as the source. Ignore self is turned on. Is, nope, parent actor. What if we try that? I don't think that's going to change anything, considering we're basically asking the actor. Yeah, no, that's not going to change anything because there is no parent to this actor. Parent class, actor. That's just going to be a generic thing. We don't want that. What if we do hit component static mesh? Nope. Equal. Oh, this is going to be painful if I do this the way I think I'm about to do it. Let's think of a better solution. Well, actually, we could just do wall modular. Maybe that'll do something. Wall modular. Wall modular. I'm too far up. Wall modular. And then finally wall modular. That appears to not have changed anything. Okay. What if we add an empty scene component? Let's do about 100 should be good. Delete all this. do scene, and go back to that hit actor idea. Dungeon tile parent. Dungeon tile parent. Oh, I also didn't switch it from component to, well, that's okay. That's okay. We'll make it work. Dungeon tile parent. Dungeon tile parent. Okay. Let's see if this changes anything. Oh, it's not gonna because I didn't do that for everything. Okay. So we need to do that for each of these. That's as simple as just plugging all this in, like so. Get rid of all of that. Plug this back in, and we should be good to roll. Let's give it a try. That did not work. Oh, why is my... I can't move right. It's like I'm hitting something. Oh, I might be hitting the gun. Maybe that's actually the issue this whole time. Here, blueprints, player BP, gun. Make sure this isn't... Yeah, block all dynamic. Let's set that to no collision. Yeah, we'll see if that stays working correctly. But, okay. The wall stuff is still not working. So I think maybe the line trace is not going to work. Oops, wrong line trace. This line trace. I gotta think of something different. I thought I closed Steam, but I guess I did not. There we go. Let me plug that back in for just a second. Interesting. What to do? What to do? What if we have the level tell the dungeon if it's next to something based on this integer? Here's what we do. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. Drag all this out to the left, right? Promote this to a variable. And we're going to call that index. Just leave it as is. Delete it. Set it. Oops. Set that index to that random variable. And let that random variable control the generation, like so. And then go to dungeon tile parent, create a new variable, call it index. Set that to integer. Then go back to the level generation system and do set index. And we set that index. So, what does this mean? Basically, we can dictate which wall gets taken care of based on that index. Is there a dungeon room to the north? Then yes, you should take out that north wall. So, to get that set up, we need to get rid of most of this, unfortunately. We can just do that by doing this. We can get rid of this comment as well. And instead of a sequence, we just do switch on dungeon direction enum, get the index, get a select node. Well, maybe we should make it off of here. Select node, south, east, west, plug that index straight into here. Grab all this. So north, south, grab both of these if we can. And then east, west. So this should work a lot better. This should work way better. I might have gotten some values backwards. I might have gotten some values backwards. Can we fall off? Yep. Okay, so let's change the names of these walls real quick. So north is plus 600. So this is the north wall. This is the south wall. East is positive 600. This is the east wall. And this is the west wall. It's still not quite working as intended, but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Let's check if the... So north is going to the north wall. South is going to the south wall. East, east, west. West is going to the north wall. Okay, that might be part of our problem. I knew it was going to be something silly. It's always something silly with me. West wall. West wall. West wall. Nope. It's because this is not plugged in. Yep. Oh, we got progress. Okay, so our next issue is that the connecting wall is not being knocked out. Not a problem. We can come up with something for that. We need to create a previous index, I think is what we need to do. So we're gonna promote this to a variable. And we'll call this previous index. Look this up. So once all of this is done, we will go to custom event, previous wall. And we're essentially going to do the same thing here. But how are we going to do this? Here's what we're going to do. Let's go back to the enum and add one more. We'll call it null and drag it to the top. Okay, cool. It doesn't plug itself into anything. So option 0 will be null, north, south, east, and add one more pin for west. And then just do the same thing down here. Null, north, south, east, and west. Duplicate this. Previous index. File and save. And then we will set previous index. Ooh, no, previous index needs to be set before. Ooh. Let me think. Just do this. Switch this out. Previous index. Set previous index. Because at the start of generation, previous index will be 0. We can just set that immediately. Okay, that should, in theory, give us the previous index. Now we just got to give the previous index some functionality, which we did by copy pasting the formula. We should test this. That did not work. Okay. Oh, you know why? Because our minimum and maximum ranges still allow for 0 to occur naturally. So we'll do 1 and 4. Now try. Nope, that still doesn't work. Okay, what am I doing wrong? That's all plugged in. Dungeon tile parent. North, south, east, and west. North, south, east, and wests are managed. Oh, I didn't add the previous trigger. Previous wall. I don't think this is going to fix everything because we still aren't getting the first door, but it should give us something. Yeah, I'm not getting any archers now. Okay, let's run through this real quick. So, generate the dungeon. This will be the number of rooms that get generated. Sequence. Set the index between a random number between 1 and 4. And then based on that, set the spawn transform location. Generate dungeon, yeah. Okay, set spawn transform location plus 600 or minus 600, forward, backward, left, or right. And then generate that next dungeon room based on that transform. We're going to set the previous index to be equal to the current previous index, set the index to the regular index, and do that. So, we go to our actual dungeon. Event begin play. Switch on dungeon direction enum. Index 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. North wall, south wall. I don't see what could be causing this issue. Here, real quick. Let's get that cube back so we can at least see if everything else is generating. Set that to 0, 0, 0. The other rooms are generating. That's good. Okay, so let's just run through this real quick. Event begin play. The level will spawn the first dungeon tile, and then start this generate dungeon event. So it checks how many dungeon tiles it's generated, and then if it's not index 4, it'll move forward to the sequence, where it'll get a random number between 1 and 4 to set the index. And then based on that index, yeah, I didn't fix this one. That might be part of the issue. North, south, east, and west. Okay. North, south, east, or west sets the transform. Okay. Still not getting arches, which is interesting. Collisions are still enabled. Here. We know the rooms are generating. Is there a reason the doors are not working? Let's just do this one step at a time. Let's get a print string. Just say hello when you spawn. Okay, so 6 rooms have spawned. That's good. Okay. Is this previous wall even triggering? I guess is the next question. The print string. Ooh, we're not even getting to the previous wall. Okay, so something's bad here. Here. Are we hitting null all the time? Is that what's happening? Oh, we are hitting null. Previous index is not updating. Why is the previous index not updating? Set the previous index to the current previous index. Oh, is it because maybe this is happening way too fast? Add a delay at the end of this. Maybe that'll help. Nope. We are consistently hitting null. Wait, we're hitting null on the regular index. Why are we hitting null on the regular index? Index set to that. Here. Print string. Hook that up to there, hook that up to there. Hook this down here. Ooh, yeah, we're hitting null. Why are we hitting null? Delay? Okay, we're getting somewhere better, but not quite. This first room is still not getting its proper stuff. Oh, you know what? Because index is not being set on the first room. Ah, yeah, that might do it. The worst part is... Remote variable, current room. And then what we'll do is that. Or can we just get current room now? Get current room. Cast to dungeon tile parent. Set index. I don't think that's going to work because current index, the index is based on dungeon event begin play, so it'd have to be really fast, right? We'll try it. We'll try it. We'll try it. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? Right. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I get the impression the previous room is not working. Previous index. Can we set previous index in here as well? And then let's get rid of this, because this is probably not necessary anymore. Actually, it is still necessary, because current room you know what we can do actually? Let's do that. Now it should do it for every room. Oh, we're so close. We are so close. What else do we need to do to get this to work? Oh, we didn't hook up what to do with the previous index, did we? Set previous index. This is looking really spaghetti-ish, but I promise I'll clean this up at some point. This April Fool's joke may be a joke, but I am going to try and take this at least somewhat seriously. Ah, come on. I think that actually broke some stuff. Hard to see. Yeah, because there's no room right there, right? Oh, you know what? I know what's causing the previous room stuff to not work. Previous room should be opposite. West and east. Oh, we're so close. We are so close to getting it. I think this one, like the current wall, is still active. We're making progress. We're making progress. Let me run it one more time. It looks like the previous wall is still not registering correctly. I could be wrong on that. Oh, it's double arches. So the arches are generating correctly. Why is this not doing that? At least we know that it's no longer going null, so that's good. Yeah, let's run through this mentally one more time. So, okay. In the level, event begin play, spawn the first dungeon room, and set that as the current room, and then start the dungeon generation process. So, when generating a dungeon, we want to get this many rooms. Loop the body and do a sequence. First things first, set the index. The index will dictate if the room will spawn to the north, south, east, or west of the current room. My phone is blowing up. What is going on? Okay, you check that later. So, regardless of whether it spawns north, south, east, or west, cast to the current room and set the index to the current index, and set the previous index to the previous index value. When that is done, maybe if we add a delay, maybe that's all we really need to do. Add a small delay here. That way it has time to process what the previous index is before it changes again. This might be nonsense, but I've had Unreal fix itself by just doing that, so I'm gonna give it a try. Because at this point, anything is possible. Ah, okay, one wall disappeared. This wall's not disappearing though. Okay, so it looks like, so this is our current room, right? And it looks like our current room understands that this middle wall needs to be replaced by the arch, which apparently has no collision. Oh, it has no collision because I disabled collisions for the arch, right? But the previous index wall is still not registering. So let's go back. Let's turn these back to normal real quick and see if maybe we're overthinking it a little bit. East and west. Apparently tweaking the previous index breaks everything again. So I guess change that back. The room spawned to the north, so the south value should be changed to an arch. Index 1 was the previous, so index 2 should be the next. Oh, you know what it might be? If it's index 2, if the previous index is 2, but the current one is 3, it's going to get rid of the wrong wall. That's a little tough. I gotta think really hard on this. Think really hard on this. You know what? I have a notepad next to me. I can just draw this problem out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a square. Index 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So current index 1, previous index is 4. So I want 2 to be... Man, a select node is not going to work. That's what I'm learning here. No, that should work. Because if you spawn... Here, let me use this giant square as an example here. If you spawn 1 forward, and that was your previous index, the number 2 wall should disappear. And if number 3 is your previous index, then your number 4 wall should not exist anymore. What if we just go bananas on this? Okay, that worked about as well as I was expecting. So this is the current index, which has no previous index. I wish I could see the other dungeon rooms. Let's see if we can add a quick jump button. Right, Unreal Engine uses the content drawer now. Keyboard space. Jump. Okay, so current index is working, previous index is not. In fact, previous index doesn't seem to be working at all. Dungeon tile parent. Print string. Oh, it's always hitting null. That's why this hasn't been working. Why is it always hitting null? Here's what we'll do. Delete all this. And then before the next dungeon tile spawns, we'll plug a sequence here. Drag this down. Set previous index. Break this. See if that fixes it. Oh. I mean, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So this arch appears to be from the other room. This arch is from the other room. That arch is from something else. We're getting somewhere, is the point. Dungeon tile parent. So let's try setting this back up to north, south, east, and west normal. Okay, still got some weirdness going on here. So let's set this to south, north, west, and east. Oh my god. Oh my god. No! We're so close. We are so close. We got 2 rooms working, so what if we just run it again? Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Um, hmm. Test it one more time. See, consistency is the issue with this generation system right now. Yeah, that next room just didn't get rid of any of its walls. Probably because if previous index was 3, reset the 4th wall. Really shouldn't be that complicated. Why is it only working sometimes too? Now in this case, the index itself didn't work. Here, hold on. Just to test something. Actually, that's not gonna work. Ah! Let's see. This dungeon, the previous index just straight up didn't work. But it works flawlessly here. Well, yeah, basically flawlessly. Why would it only work sometimes, but not all the time. Is it maybe going too fast? Am I crazy? What if we add a delay? I doubt it, but you never know. Why did it only generate one room? Oh, you know what? I bet the array is actually controlling how many rooms. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's do 5, 8, 12, 25, and 7. Nope, still only got one room. Nope. Okay, what if we just simulate this so I can actually see what's going on here? Okay, so what if we get rid of that delay then? I think that delay actually caused more issues than it fixed. Oops. Wanted to simulate. Show me your defaults, please. Drag this down. It refuses to show me. Okay. And we do that. Oops. Index 3. Previous index 0. So it recognizes that there was no previous room, and yet a room spawned next to it. Interesting. Nope, I keep doing that to myself. Where's the directional light? Directional light. Yo, where is this light actually hiding? Oh, it's probably just not visible during a... Okay, let's have it beam straight down. Index 0, previous index 0. How does that happen? Meanwhile, this room over here... Oh, this is the starting room. So the starting room got an index. Well, that's interesting. How did it do that? So what I'm seeing here, and it's what's confusing me, it generated a room. A room. What the hell? Oh, I see now. It generated a dungeon room, gave it an index, right? And that index became this room. But then it generated another room on top of this room. Oh, I need to ban 0, 0. Oh no. Okay. So we need to somehow ban 0, 0 as a transform. Oh, you know what we can do? Make array. Promote to variable. Transforms array. And we don't need to make an array, we need to add to array. Or is it just add? Array? Add. Aha! Then just plug it in like that. And then get array contains item this, then branch. If false, go ahead and do the thing. But if true, we will call a custom event and say reroll. I don't think this is going to work as well as I'm hoping, but we can at least test this idea, see how it works. So let's hook this all up. It's amazing how you have an idea and you're like, oh, this idea sounds like it would be pretty straightforward. And then the more you design, build, test, you go, you know what? Maybe that complicated one actually had a point. Maybe I was underestimating the difficulty of this assignment I was giving myself. Mostly because I wanted to have dynamic walls. If I just left all the walls open or whatever, like, it probably would have been very different. Okay, let's give this a whirl. All right, generate. Ooh, now we just have a straight up no room dungeon. Okay, so let's see how this dungeon was generated. Parent room 1. Perfect. It has a door, and the next room, dungeon tile parent 2, recognizes that that was where the first room came from. It assigns itself a new value. Boom. Next room. Recognizes both. Good stuff, good stuff. Next room. Recognizes both, forward and backwards. Nice, nice. This room recognizes forward. Gives itself index 3. And then this room. Then this room just happens. Why would this room happen? Oh, I know why this room would happen. Get rid of that. You probably fix the whole issue. Nope. We got a one-room dungeon. Oh, I wasn't supposed to get rid of that. Oops. Bring that back, bring that back, bring that back. Oh, you know why? If this is the last one, it doesn't go through this one more time. So what if we create a custom event real quick? Custom event. We'll call it final room. Plug it in like that. And then on loop completed, let me zoom in. Final room. This might fix our issue. Or it can introduce a new bug. Okay, let's see what we did wrong here. So room 1 has 1 index. Room 2 has 2. Room 3 recognizes both. Room 4 freaked out. Index 1 Previous index 4. The final room did everything right. What if we generate this again? Okay. First room, second room, both good. Third room, good. Fourth room, good. Fifth room, good. Final room has a door now. So I think what we want to do is, instead of doing that final room bit, literally just take this and this down here. Let's see what that does. Oof. So what happened here? It tried to go back and re-rolled back one more time. Okay, well that's kind of unfortunate, isn't it? Why did this one fail, actually? Hold on, what? 3 and 1, 4 and 3. How did you get the right index and the wrong wall result? What? Wait, you generated an arch but kept your wall? Bro, what are you doing? Zero, one. One generated correctly. 4? What? It still generated a room on itself. How did you do that? I literally have stuff in place to prevent that from happening. How did you... This is wild. Where's reroll? So it rerolls the same direction. Okay, so maybe... What if we do reroll at the sequence node? Whoops. Well, that's already not a great sign. So maybe the not the right answer. So 0, 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. What the hell? I'm literally... Hold on. That is the exact same transform. How are you doing this to yourself? I literally have, if the array has that transform. Oh, you know what I'm not doing? I'm not adding that transform to the array. That's what I'm doing wrong. So grab all this, drag it out. This node. That's what we need. We need to actually add that new transform to the array. That's kind of important. It might be necessary. Isn't game dev just so fun? I could do this all day. Plug this all up. Okay, now let's test all this. Interesting. Ooh, what the hell? Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 recognizes correctly that it has a previous room and a current room. 8. Room 4 is way over there. Where's 5? 5 is in the same spot. 6 is in the same spot. 7 is in the same spot. How? Okay. Let's go through this carefully. Event begin play, spawn a dungeon at spawn transform 000. Make that the current room. And then add that location to the transforms array. Event begin play, start a loop, and that loop begins with a sequence setting the index. North, south, east, or west. If you were to go to any of these directions, it's going to check if that location that has been moved 600 units is in the current transforms array. If yes, it's going to re-roll that value. But if false, it'll add that transform and then set the index for the current room. And then once all of that has been organized, it'll then spawn the next room at the new transform. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's spawning things on top of itself. Maybe reroll should be here? Let's have reroll be there. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms. How many rooms do we actually have? We have 6 rooms. 0, 1, 2. That's unfortunate. 3, 4, 5. And 5 did not even detect the previous index, it seems. Index 0, previous index 3. Wait, so you knew your previous index, but you didn't... But then also here it doesn't work. Oh, you know why? Because... Okay, so we don't want it to randomize too hard. So maybe just do this. Oof. 0, 1, 2. Dang. Here's an idea. What if we set it after we add it to the array? Just split the struct. This is getting so messy. This might work though, and that's why I'm gonna try it. And unfortunately, it's probably gonna be the last thing I try tonight because we're running out of time. Location, rotation, and scale. Location, rotation, scale. Location, rotation, and scale. And then assuming all of that is good, because then it'll move based on the actual position rather than a random location. Ideally. God, this is pure spaghetti. See if we can't clean it up a little bit. Maybe have this be here. And this be here. It's slightly more organized spaghetti. Spaghetti, but slightly better nonetheless. Make transform. There we go. Man, it's such a mess. Just getting uglier and uglier the more I tweak it. Let's do this. I grab... We're gonna have to move so much. Grab you, slide you to the left. Grab everything on the north side. Drag that up quite a bit. Now, we can do these reroute nodes. Drag it down, bring it across. And now we can do this. We can recombine these structs. Plug it in like that. Still looks like a disaster, but what else can you do, right? It might be spaghetti, but it's my spaghetti. Make sure we plug these up correctly as we go. Oops, I completely missed. Maybe we can also help our eyeballs a little bit by just adding a reroute node here. There we go. Makes it a little more readable. Even if it's still prime time spaghetti hours here. Let's add a reroute node here and here. I'm using a wireless mouse for this laptop. I've got to say, I wish it was a lot more sensitive. Might just be a skill issue though. This is an old mouse. Okay. We need to add the reroll event. Maybe we'll just do it slightly above here. Reroll. Maybe just add that here as well. There we go. It's kind of coming together. It's kind of coming together. Recombine these structs. Go ahead and recombine these now, so we can at least get some semblance of organization going on here. You know, literally 4 months ago, maybe even 2 months ago, I would have told you I wasn't ready for this dungeon generation stuff. While it's not going well, it is going better than I expected it was going to go before doing the test this afternoon. Kind of proud I even made it this far. Plug that up, plug this up, plug this up, make that transform. And then plug this into here, get the reroll event. Spaghetti. So much spaghetti. I'm gonna have to comment all this out to make sure I can read this later. Make transform. Here we go. Reroll. Okay, now, after all that work, we can test if this improved anything. Infinite loop detected. That's not good. That's interesting because it didn't give me that error. Only if it's true should it reroll. So it shouldn't be an infinite loop. It fixed itself. So there's room 1, there's room 2, room 3, room 4, room 5. Dead end. Okay. It has its previous index. I don't know why it's not registering that. Oh, you know what? Because index 0 is null. Here. Stop. Previous wall. That's probably all we need to do to fix that. Infinite loop detected. It's really not an infinite loop though, guys. Here. What if we do the infinite loop here? Very start. Oops. Generate. Ooh, that's a lot bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom! We have a dungeon. Oh my god, it actually works. It's a linear dungeon, but we have dungeons. Oh my god, that one's complex. Still linear, but pretty neat. Cool, we got a basic dungeon generation system. And it only took a whole stream. Let's see if we can't at least fix this real quick. When the arches spawn, their position is off. So can we do set world location? I don't know. Get world location. Minus, I don't know, 100. World location. See if we can't just do that just to fix some of these door issues that we're having here. Infinite loop detected. What do you mean? Okay, fine. What if we just don't reroll? What if we just say you wasted that room to our generation system? I mean, it seems to have worked. None of these walls look like they went down. Oh wow, what happened here? Room 0. Room 1. Previous index 0. Oh, did you spawn in a room in yourself again? Yeah, you did. How did you do that? Oh, you know why? Because it's still spawning a room at the end of this. So we do need that reroll. That's unfortunate. Is there a way we can bypass this? Oh, you know what? There's a way. There's a way. It's a dumb way. But we can just do bad spawn. Set this to be a boolean. Make sure it is a single. Set bad spawn to true. Let's make this easier on myself just because we're testing this idea. We'll test this and then we'll close out, I swear. I swear. Get a reroute node. Branch. And then if it's false, don't spawn anything. Drop that reroll. And then on generate dungeon, or not generate dungeon, on the beginning of the loop, we want to set bad spawn to false. Nah, what do you mean? Okay, 0, 1. Previous index is correct. So 2, 3, 4. Okay, then what's your problem, bro? Previous index is 1. That's just a straight up lie. Where did you get that number? I may have to just surrender to this today. Oh, the door went down. So at least we know that works. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here, but we will pick this back up tomorrow as part of our April Fool's celebration. And we'll try and at least clean up the dungeon generation. Maybe I'll do that off stream, and then we'll stream gunplay, AI, and whatnot. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.